What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Today I'm super excited because we're doing one of my absolute favorite types of videos to film, which is a full face first impressions on a bunch of new drugstore makeup. I was in Target yesterday and saw the new Wet n Wild collection, which this looks so stinking cute. There's a bunch of things. Everything's $4.99. So I picked up everything they had from the different collections so that I can test everything. We have this new Maybelline Perfector product, which I'm very intrigued about. Some new Milani. So a bunch of new exciting stuff that we're gonna test out today and see if it's good or if it's not. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel if you have not already and click the little bell right next to the subscribe button so you can be notified of all my future uploads. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right, up first for primer, we're gonna jump in with this new guy from Wet n Wild. So basically in this new collection from Wet n Wild, which I believe it's exclusive to Target right now, but it is gonna be coming to Wet n Wild's website soon. Everything is based on like a different scent. So this is the honey one, and this is the Be Mine Honey Primer Serum. But then like for the blush, like this one's like a passion fruit, and we have another face palette that's based on like coconut. So they're all based on different things, but I went with the honey one for the primer. I actually love honey, so if it smells like honey, that'll be pretty good. Ooh. It literally doesn't smell like honey at all. It smells like lemon or something to me. Like, it doesn't smell bad, but I'm not getting the honeyness from it, but that's okay. And it looks really glowy in the bottle, so I'm just gonna put some on my fingers, like so, and then tap it on the skin. It feels nice. It's not sticky at all. Like, sometimes honey can also make you think like, oh, is it gonna be sticky? It's definitely not sticky, and it is giving a little glow to my skin. All right, overall in the primer, did it really do much for my skin or make that big of a difference? No. You know, I didn't get any like pore smoothing or anything from it. It added a little bit of a glow, but aside from that, not much. So I wouldn't say that you need to like run out and get this. It didn't really do very much for my skin, so not sure this one is like worth it to, you know, run out and go get. Now I am very, very intrigued with this product. So this is new from Maybelline. I picked this up yesterday at Ulta. I believe it was about $14, so it's not cheap. You know, definitely at a much higher price point than all the Wet n Wild stuff, but this is their Instant Age Rewind Perfector 4-in-1 Glow Makeup. So it basically looks like a big version of their Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, like the concealer. This says that it's a primer, concealer, highlighter, and BB cream. I'm like, okay. So it does quite a lot, and I got shade Fair Light. This was the only shade that they had there, but I believe this only comes in 4 shades, which I don't like, especially if it's saying that it's a BB cream. Like, we're gonna need more than 4 shades, sis, but it does say on the back here that it blends into skin tone. So I'm like, okay, because normally I wouldn't get Fair Light. I would normally get like light medium or something, but I'm gonna put this on my skin because it does say that it can be used as a primer. And then we can also see what it looks like, you know, on its own if you wanted to use it as a BB cream, like as the only layer on your skin. The packaging on this is really cute though. I'm just interested to see, like, is this worth 14 bucks? And is it even gonna do anything? Okay, wait. Did I just break it? I'm like twisting this, but okay. Now I think the product is starting to come out. So I'm gonna dab some. It's always hard with these, like the first couple times, because the sponge can be like really dense when it's never been used. So I'm just gonna kind of dab it on the skin like this. No scent or anything to this. I'm gonna do it down there, and now I'm just gonna blend it out with like a little beauty sponge and see. Okay, it's adding a very light glow. Definitely not gonna give really any semblance of coverage. So if you're someone that wants it or needs some coverage underneath makeup, I feel like this would be really nice because I actually think it looks very pretty on the skin. Like, it gives a very pretty glow. You can definitely see like the bottom part of my face looks a lot more glowy than like my forehead does. There's nothing on my forehead. I'm gonna put some on there now, but I do like that. And we are gonna use this today as concealer because it says it can be used as concealer. So we're gonna try it out as that as well once we get our next complexion products on. But I do like it for like underneath makeup. I think it looks pretty. All right, now we're gonna jump in with the Milani Skin Tint. So I have 2 of them here. They both actually kind of look pretty dark. This one's light medium, so that's what I'm gonna try with and see if we can make this work. So it says this has electrolytes, coconut water blend, you know, supposed to give sheer light coverage, melt into the skin with a dewy glow. So let's see. I normally really like Milani's products. Although that famous Milani foundation, that conceal and define or whatever it's called, that everybody really liked, I did not like at all. So we'll see how this works. Let me just put some like that. Oh, that's probably way too much. Let me, oh, wow. So it looks, when I first squeezed it out of the tube, I don't know what the right terminology is, it looked thick, but it actually, when you touch it, like feels like water, like very light, and it has like a very light scent to it. Nothing crazy. So I'm just kind of tapping this with my fingers, and then I'll go in with a beauty sponge. Just gonna go in with that same sponge and blend this out on the skin. I think we'll be able to make this shade work, but I would definitely say they run darker, because for light medium, this is a little bit darker than I feel like most other light mediums that I've tried are. So if you're in between two colors and ordering online, I would say go down a shade. Blending like a dream though, like blending out and morphing into my skin really well. And even though it's light coverage, I do feel like it is giving me coverage. You know, like you can still see some acne scarring and stuff that I have, but it is helping to blur and perfect the skin. And it feels very lightweight on the skin. Again, it really felt like water, even though that's not what it looks like. It definitely has a light texture to it. This I actually really, really love. Like I feel like this Milani Glow Skin Tint with the new Maybelline Perfector underneath are like really pretty together, give a really pretty glow to the skin. Like I look dewy, like, but I still have some coverage and some color, and I think it looks really, really pretty. I like it a lot actually. And I'll let it sit on my face for a couple minutes and see if it dries down, because right now it still definitely has that tacky texture and has not fully set. So we'll see if it will eventually. I am gonna go in with a little bit more of this Maybelline Perfector, because this says that it can be used as a concealer as well. So we're gonna go in with this on our under eyes and put it there. I feel like I'm not gonna like this as a concealer, and I'm bringing it kind of up like this because it does say it can be used as a highlight too. Bring a little down the nose, just in the center areas of the face. All right, now I will blend. I mean, it's concealing a little bit, definitely not a lot, but it did give me like brightness underneath the eyes. But overall, I feel like on my under eyes, I do like something that is more of like a matte looking finish, like not something that has a shiny, glowy finish to it. So I don't like this as a concealer on myself personally. I feel like it's a product that's trying to be too many things. I like it best as a primer slash if you just want something very, very light coverage, skin tint type of product for all over the face. I think this is really nice. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a concealer. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes now. I let the skin tint sit on my skin and it still is tacky, so it has not set down. So I think at this point it probably just isn't gonna set. A lot of dewy type foundation products like that will just always kind of stay with that tacky consistency. So you can leave it. I am gonna set it though so that we can layer products on top of it. One thing that I wanted to try, this is new from Milani. This is the face palette from the little coconut line. This is the In Love with the Cocoa face palette. And so you have a bronzer and then a lighter powder. So I'm gonna see if we can use that as the lighter powder, if we can use it to set underneath our eyes. Because you guys know I use Wet n Wild Reserve Your Cabana all the time to set my eyes, and this kind of looks like that. Like it looks very similar. Ooh, oh my God. This smells like straight up chocolate, so definitely smells like chocolate. And I'm gonna go into the lighter powder and apply this to my under eyes. This has more of a peachy undertone than Reserve Your Cabana does. Reserve Your Cabana is just more like almost a white, really pale yellow. This one has a little bit more peachy tones, but that actually for the under eyes is good. I do think this is a little bit more glowy than Reserve Your Cabana is though. Reserve Your Cabana has a little bit of a glow to it. This one definitely has a little more. So I wanted to see how similar it was to set the under eyes, but this is probably best used just as a regular highlighter. But we do have this other palette that I'm gonna use for highlight and blush, also from this Wet n Wild collection. I feel like my face at this point kind of looks like a disco ball. So don't use this like Wet n Wild Reserve Your Cabana because it's not the same thing. And I'm just gonna go in on the rest of the face with some translucent setting powder and use that to set the rest of the face in place just so we don't have that stickiness on the face from the product. Okay, my under eyes literally look like crocodile skin or something with that highlighter. So again, I reiterate, do not use this shade to set underneath your eyes. Even though it doesn't look that shimmery, it's not good for that, and it's not what it's meant for, so that's not Wet n Wild's fault. I just wanted to try it since I always use their other product that's technically a highlighter to set my under eyes. We'll jump back into this palette in a little bit to use the bronzer, but for right now I'm gonna jump into the eyes and I'm gonna go in with the In Love with the Cocoa eyeshadow palette. So this I thought was really beautiful. Again, $4.99, which for a palette with 9 shades I thought was great, but let's see how they work. So let me open this up. Alright, I went ahead and zoomed you guys in a little bit closer. You can really see the crocodile skin underneath my eyes. We're gonna go in with this palette. I'm gonna go in with this shade right here in the middle first, and I'm gonna buff that in the crease. There is no mirror in this palette, so I'm just using a little handheld mirror that I have. But again, at the $4.99 price point, I can't be mad at it, especially because we get 9 different shades. And so far, this shade seems to be blending very nicely, very easily. Then I'm gonna jump in with this more cool tone shade, and I'm gonna work that into the crease. This I'm not gonna bring into the upper crease area. I'm just gonna leave it in the crease. They do have other palettes in this collection too. Like this wasn't the only one. I believe there's 4 in total, but this was the only one that my Target had. It was definitely, must have been a big seller because there was like slots for the other ones, but there was none of them left. So if you're into like brighter colors and stuff, they do have other options for this collection, aside from just this palette. Next, I'm gonna dig into this shade right here. This is like a dark kind of warm toned brown. I'm gonna buff this into the outer corner. All the shades I've used so far are blending together nicely. Then I'm gonna go in with this shade right in the middle. It's like a bronze. And I'm going to pack that on the lid. Oh wow, looks very pretty. I'm gonna focus this on like the outer half of the eye, and I'm just using my finger to apply. Same thing on the other side. Now for the inner corner area, I'm gonna go in with this lightest shade right here. This is also a shimmer, and I'm going to apply in the inner corner. Oh, it actually still applies nice with a brush too. Like I always find shimmers apply best with your finger, but this is just a dry brush, and it's working because it can be hard to get your finger in that little inner corner area. Now I'm gonna dampen the brush a bit, and we'll see if that kind of amps it up on the other side. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but I wouldn't really say a significant difference with a damp brush to a dry brush. I would say you get relatively similar payoff. Now right in the center of the eyelid, I'm gonna kind of do a little spotlight with this pretty shade. This kind of looks almost purpley. So I'm gonna grab some on my finger, and then I'm gonna tap it right in the center of the eye, like so. Just so we can try out as many shades from this palette as possible. I am gonna go back in with that lightest shimmer that we used, and I'm just popping that lightest shimmer that we used beneath the brow bone as well. And on the lower lash line, I'm gonna pop in with this shade right here. That's, I think, the only shade we haven't used yet aside from the matte black. So I'm gonna go in with this and buff it on the lower lash line. Okay, and then last but certainly not least, we're gonna jump in with the deepest shade. I thought this was a matte black, but it's actually just a really, really deep matte brown. So I'm gonna use a little liner brush for this. I just hit myself in the face with the spoolie side. And I'm gonna do a little liner on top, just kind of wing it upwards to lift the eye. Same thing on the other side, and then just gonna blend. I feel like the eyes actually look good, but the under eyes, like the craziness that's going on in my under eyes is just making everything look off. But I feel like the actual eyeshadow really did work well. It looks nice, and for $4.99 for 9 shades, I think this is an absolutely great deal. So this definitely has been my favorite thing so far that we've tried from the new Wet n Wild collection. I think it's really nice and well worth $5. I just feel like the situation of my under eyes is throwing me off. I shouldn't have used that highlight to try and set them. But you live and you learn. Let me be the guinea pig instead of you. I'm just gonna go in and pop some mascara on to coat my lashes so we can finish off the eyes. Alrighty, eyes are done. We're gonna move on to the face now and hope to like save this face, because I feel like the eyes, like if you don't look at the face, the eyes look cute, but the face is like a hot mess. But we're gonna try and save it. So I'm gonna jump back into this Wet n Wild little In Love with the Cocoa palette, and I'm gonna go in with the bronzer this time. It is a matte bronzer, and I'm gonna use this to bronze up the skin. It does smell just like chocolate, so if you like chocolate, you will definitely like the scent. And this bronzer definitely has warm undertones to it, so it gives that almost like I was just out in the sun and my skin's kind of burnt, kind of tan like look. So I do like that it gives that kind of natural goldeny glow. All right, now let's jump into this little duo. This one looks really cute. This is the Passion Session little face palette, also from the new Wet n Wild collection. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with the blush first. It looks like a little pretty peachy kind of blush. I'm gonna tap that on the cheeks. Love it. That's really pretty. I like that a lot. Definitely very pigmented, so you only need a little bit of it. And this one has a nice, like sweet kind of fruity smell to it. All right, I feel like we're saving the face a little bit now that we're adding like blush and stuff. Some on my nose too. And then I'm gonna go in with the highlight. Wet n Wild normally has really good ones, so let's see. Ooh, yes, very pretty. And can definitely be built up to be like boom, blinding, or you can just use a little bit and have a more subtle glow. So this is really, really pretty. I like this little duo a lot. The highlighter and the blush just go really nicely together. Okay, and now we have this little lip kit. So this was the only one left. They have 4 different colors of these lip kits. This is the only one left in my Target, and you guys can see it's all like messed up, but I bought it anyways because I was like, I still want to try it. So this is from the cherry flavor of the new collection. So this is the My Cherry Amore lip kit. So it basically has a lip liner and then a lip gloss. So I'm gonna open this up. So first we'll go in with the liner and then we'll top it with the gloss. So I'm gonna line my lips. Wow, this is actually like going on like butter, like really nicely and smoothly. Because a lot of times I feel like these pencil ones can be very dry. This does not feel dry, really creamy. And what I'm gonna do, because the gloss looks like it's not gonna really be opaque, like it's pretty sheer, I'm gonna bring this in on the sides and kind of fill in my lips with this. Again, because it's so creamy, it's like easy to do it. So I actually really like the lip liner that applied really nicely. Now I'm gonna go in with the gloss all over. Ooh, the gloss smells nice too. like cherry. Because the lip liner is so creamy, it can go like out of the lip line a little bit, so I'm just gonna clean it up. So that is just something to be aware of, but it's not too terrible. It's funny because it has like the same taste and smell as cherry chapstick, so it's like exactly the same. So that's what it reminds me of. But I do like that little combo. It's kind of like a bright reddish pink sort of shade. So overall, I feel like we were able to save the look for the most part. So definitely let me know what you guys think about all this down below. Are you guys gonna pick anything up or not? Let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye.